A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a dramatic escalation of tensions between state and federal authorities, California officials announced on Monday their intention to file a federal lawsuit against President Donald Trump over the mobilization of the state's National Guard during the recent immigration protests in Los Angeles. The protests erupted over raids and arrests conducted by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, prompting Trump to deploy nearly 2,000 National Guard members, an action that California Governor Gavin Newsom vehemently opposed. Governor Newsom asserted that state officials were fully capable of managing the situation without federal intervention, claiming that Trump's actions were politically motivated and sowed chaos in the streets. California Attorney General Rob Bonta expressed strong condemnation of Trump's decision, accusing the president and U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth of violating the 10th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, which delineates the limits of federal power. Bonta announced plans to seek a restraining order against what he termed an unlawful, unprecedented deployment of troops. During a press conference, he stated, "Trump and Hegseth ignored law enforcement's expertise and guidance and trampled over our state's, California's, sovereignty. The legal implications of Trump's actions are significant, with experts noting that this situation has thrust the U.S. into uncharted legal territory." Bonta highlighted the rarity of court rulings on such matters, emphasizing that the statute Trump cited for mobilization has seldom been invoked. Laura A. Dickinson, a professor at George Washington University Law School, remarked on the unusual nature of the deployment, stressing that it is out of keeping with constitutional tradition for federal troops to operate without the governor's consent when the state claims it has the situation under control. Trump defended the mobilization, arguing that it was necessary to respond to what he characterized as violent, instigated riots. He claimed that without the National Guard's presence, Los Angeles would have faced severe destruction. The protests, which followed ICE raids, had seen instances of violence, clashes between protesters and law enforcement, and vandalism. However, local officials maintained that the right to peaceful demonstration must be upheld. It was heading in the wrong direction, Trump stated at the White House, expressing hope for cooperation from Governor Newsom. He described California as a state in disarray, suggesting that his intervention was aimed at rectifying the situation. Yet, legal experts have pointed out that the law governing the National Guard's mobilization requires orders to be issued through state governors, a stipulation that Trump's administration appears to have bypassed. Governor Newsom, who serves as the commander-in-chief of the California National Guard, accused Trump of overstepping his authority. In a letter to Hegseth, he urged the rescission of the troop deployment, describing it as a serious breach of state sovereignty that seemed designed to exacerbate tensions rather than alleviate them. Newsom warned that the executive order signed by Trump could set a precedent, allowing him to deploy troops in any state without the governor's consent. Legal experts have noted that the statute invoked by Trump is typically used in conjunction with the Insurrection Act of 1807, which grants presidents emergency powers to mobilize military forces domestically in times of crisis. However, Trump has not invoked the Insurrection Act in this instance, which has historically been used in situations of civil unrest. The last time the Insurrection Act was invoked in California was in 1992, following the riots that erupted after the Rodney King verdict. The current legal battle raises questions about the balance of power between state and federal authorities. Owen Chemerinsky, dean of the UC Berkeley School of Law, pointed out that the 10th Amendment serves to limit federal authority and protect state powers. He noted that the Supreme Court has rarely addressed 10th Amendment issues in recent years, leaving the outcome of this confrontation uncertain. As the situation unfolds, California's Democratic leaders are poised to challenge Trump's actions in court, asserting that his mobilization of the National Guard is not only unnecessary but also counterproductive. The Attorney General's office has indicated that a formal complaint against the Trump administration will be filed soon, marking the beginning of what promises to be a contentious legal showdown over the limits of federal power and state sovereignty. As protests continue and tensions remain high, the implications of this legal battle could reverberate far beyond California, potentially setting new precedents for the relationship between state and federal authorities across the nation. With both sides preparing for a legal confrontation, the outcome of this case may have lasting effects on how similar situations are handled in the future. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.